Hello, I'm April and welcome to the 5-minute grant making sessions, creating the budget spreadsheet. In this video, we will learn how to create a draft of a budget spreadsheet to support you while you are writing your grant proposal. As a refresher, these are likely categories you'll be working with in your grant: personnel, travel, services, human subjects, participant support, materials and supplies, the other category, and subawards. We will not go too deep into subawards in this video. And just as a note, please feel free to pause the video if you need to look into things in more detail. Where do we get the spreadsheet from? We get it from the Office of Sponsored Programs website, the proposal making section of the website, and you'll see a link at the bottom called Budget Template. There's a download link there for you. Some notes before we move forward. First, don't add or delete any cells in the template sheet. Don't edit the summary tab of the sheet. Don't remove any template formulas. And remember, make it simple. It's a draft. ORSP will create a final sheet based on your draft. When you first open the sheet, you will likely see the summary tab of the sheet. If you look at the bottom, you'll see a bunch of different tabs. You'll see the summary and then year 1 through 5, the subaward tab, the cost share tab, and a tab for rates and miscellaneous information that you might need when creating your proposal. The summary tab is something we should never touch. Just never edit anything. It will auto-populate when we fill in the other years of our tab. And just as a quick tour of the tab, a good thing to keep in mind, a good habit, is to zoom out just to see what else is in the sheet. You see, when we are zoomed in, we don't see what's on the right side, and we'll have here information about rates and some tuition calculators that we'll go through in a little bit together. Another interesting thing to check on the tab is how it has the categories that were mentioned in the beginning. Personnel, we can not worry about equipment, rarely used in education, the travel category, participant support costs, other direct costs, and then the indirect rate, which we can adjust based on what the sponsor rate is. If the sponsor rate is 15%, we'll come here, we'll actually click the cell, and we'll adjust the percentage. I have an example for us to browse through and see things in more detail. In my example, I wrote a one-year project, but as you can see in my summary, year 2, 3, 4, and 5 are populated somehow for the graduate assistant. This is just a quick note on troubleshooting with the sheet. The summary will tell you if there's a trouble or a problem somewhere in the sheet, and then you can go in there and fix it. Likely what's going on is that the years are copying from the previous year, so I can probably go in year 2, look for the graduate assistant salary, and then just put a 0 there. And come back to my summary and see what happened. It's fixed, and there we go. We have a one-year project. So that's just a note on troubleshooting if something like this happens to you. In year 1 of my project, I made things simple. I added the same exact salary to all the different personnel. They all have $100,000 salary, but they have different effort calculations. One of them is a 9-month faculty that is going for a summer contract. The other one is a 9-month faculty that is going for a course buyout, and the course buyout is 1.125 months. So you'll see a difference here in the salary between a course buyout and a summer salary. And the third category is a faculty that is a 12-month contract faculty and went for a 1-month effort buyout. And this is, as you can see, it's a different calculation. So the calendar months here in the sheet are really only used for 12-month faculty, and then academic and summer months are used for the 9-month contracted faculty. This is important to keep in mind. The fringe benefits are calculated automatically. You don't have to worry about it. They are all here in the sheet if you want to know what they are, and they are automatically integrated in the formulas. As an example, I added a graduate student here in our project. This graduate student will be working 9 months, just the academic year, fall and spring, and I know that the base salary for that is $21,500 because I have a link to the graduate college page that tells me that. Here it is, $21,500 for an ed psych PhD student for fall and spring, and then that's exactly what I added to my project. And the fringe benefits, again, calculated automatically. However, this project also has an undergraduate student that will be working in the summer for 1 summer month. So here I also looked into the rates in the HR website, and I see the rates for the students. I chose a level 3 student at around $20 an hour, and I came back and I itemized the formula in an hourly calculation. If we look here on the top left in the formula, I know it's small, in the formula line, we'll see $20 an hour times 4 hours times 5 days a week times 4 weeks, and that's how I get to this total. And again, fringe rates calculated automatically. If anything needs to change, you can look into this and let us know if the fringe rates are not calculating correctly because of the category of your student. Any problems you might have with students, just let us know and we can help you out with that. Equipment, again, rarely used in education. It's only for pieces of equipment that cost more than $5,000, and we rarely have those. Travel, I would say include your itemized calculations again. So for example, lodging plus airfare plus expenses. On the top left, you'll see $250 a day times 4 days plus $500 airfare plus $500 expenses. So that's how we got to this cost. Participant support is more for projects that have professional development, service programs, and things like that. It's not to be confused with human subjects incentives. So those are different, and those come at the bottom at the other direct costs. And this is important because these different costs, they influence your indirect cost calculations differently. So it's important that these things are in the right lines in the sheet. So going down to the last section, you'll see in the other section, the graduate assistant tuition was calculated already. It's calculated automatically once we fill in the tuition formula. And here I filled this in. I have one student, it's 12 credits. I have some information here. I'm getting a student for 9 months, so it already tells me 12 credits for 9 months. So that's exactly what I did. And the value per credit, again, I went to the graduate college website and I looked at their budgeting for a GA as part of the site, and I got all this information from there, the mandatory fees per credit, the fees per semester, and the cost per credit for the GA. So we come back to the sheet, we know that those values are there, we adjust if necessary, and it will automatically show up here in this tuition calculation. Human subjects, again, we can also itemize the calculations by an hourly rate. In this case, they are working 20 hours. They are participating in 20 hours of the project at $25 an hour for 10 participants. So that's how we got this cost. So at the bottom, again, just as a reminder, the indirect cost rate can change. Let's say it's not 15, it's actually 8%. We can change, and you'll notice it changed back here, or it's actually 51%, and there we go, and it changes. And that's kind of how we change the indirect cost rate, or it might be 0 as well. Some sponsors just say 0, and it will absolutely change the total of our project. I hope this can help you draft your budget sheet, and please count on us if you have any questions, or if you want our support in any part of your budgeting process. This is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video.